जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय कृष्ण बलराम कृष्ण बलराम कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम। जय निताय गौरंग जय निताय गौरंग निताय गौरंग जय निताय गौरंग। जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय अनंत देव। लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय अनंत देव। जय श्रीनिवास गोविंद जय श्रीनिवास गोविंद। श्रीनिवास गोविंद जय श्रीनिवास गोविंद। जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद। जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतश्री श्रीमद हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की। इस्कॉन संस्थापक आचार्य सेवियर ऑफ द होल वर्ल्ड जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Chapter 2, Contents of the Gita summarized, text number 27. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityur dhruvam janma mritasya cha tasmad apariharyarthe natvam sochitum arhasi. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityur dhruvam janma mritasya cha tasmad apariharyarthe natvam sochitum arhasi. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityur dhruvam janma mritasya cha tasmad apariharyarthe natvam sochitum arhasi. Jatasya hi dhruva mrityur dhruvam janma mritasya cha tasmad apariharyarthe natvam sochitum arhasi. Jatasya hi dhruva mrityur dhruvam janma mritasya cha natvam sochitum arhasi. Anybody else? Mataji's. Jatasya hi dhruva mrityur dhruvam janma mritasya cha tasmad apariharyarthe natvam sochitum arhasi. Synonyms: Jatasya, one who has taken his birth. He, certainly. Dhruvaha, a fact. Mrityuhu, death. Dhruvam, it is also a fact. Janma, birth. Mritasya, of the dead. Cha, also. Tasmat, therefore. Apariharye, for that which is unavoidable. Arthe, in the matter of. Na, do not. Tvam, you. Sochitum, to lament. Arhasi, deserve. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation: for one who has taken his birth, death is certain, and for one who is dead, birth is certain. Therefore, in the unavoidable discharge of your duty, you should not lament. Translation with repetition: for one who has taken his birth, death is certain, and for one who is dead, birth is certain. Therefore, in the unavoidable discharge of your duty, you should not lament. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. One has to take birth according to one's activities of life, and after finishing one term of activities, one has to die to take birth for the next. In this way, the cycle of birth and death is revolving, one after the other, without liberation. The cycle of birth and death does not, however, support unnecessary murder, slaughter, and war. But at the same time, violence and war are inevitable factors in human society for keeping law and order. The battle of Kurukshetra, being the will of the Supreme, was an inevitable event, and to fight for the right cause is the duty of a Kshatriya. Why should he be afraid of aggrieved at the death of his relatives, since he was discharging his proper duty? He did not deserve to break the law, thereby becoming subjected to the reactions of sinful acts, of which he was so afraid. By avoiding the discharge of his proper duty, he would not be able to stop the death of his relatives, and he would be degraded due to his selection of the wrong path of action. Thus ends the wonderful transcendental Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So I'd like to welcome each one of you for this Sunday feast program in Krishna Balaram Mandir. So we have a very beautiful verse in front of us which says Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityur dhruvam janma mritasya cha tasmad apariharyarthe natvam sochitum arhasi. Sanskrit language is so refined and so beautiful, and sometimes even a small word has a lot of significance, importance. Like for example, there is one word which is used here, he. What is it called? He. Can you say all he? Not H-E, it's H-I. Okay? And this is not he like a male. He means certainly. And the next word is dhruvo. Dhruvo means also certainly. It's a fact. So there are two things which are used together. He dhruvo. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityur. Anybody who has taken birth is certain to die. So some of the things, which happens in our day-to-day life, it doesn't strike us. For example, when let's say a child is born, what is guaranteed when the child is born? No, that's because we read now. Don't get into the obvious thing, but what else? Like, if the child is born, usually what do we say? Like, sorry? Happiness, okay. So, like, let's say, imagine if a mother has given birth to a child in a hospital or in a private dispensary or something, and the child is born. What exactly they do after that? They make him cry, one of the things. Okay, name him also. Okay, they make him cry first, so to ensure that he is alive, right? So he's living, and then you weigh him, you see what is his size and all those things. But imagine, and the doctor will say, congratulations, you've been blessed with a baby boy or a girl or whatever it is. But imagine if the doctor comes and says, congratulations, you have been born with someone who's going to die. Anybody says like that? But it's a fact. It's a reality. Jatasya hi dhruva mrityur. We're not able to see that. But along with birth, also there is a written certain statement which comes, you're going to die. So imagine, like, you see a tree, right? What do we see the tree? What exactly we see when we look at a tree? Leaves, tree, the branches, fruits, flowers, and all these things. But what is ensuring that the tree is surviving is the deep roots which are there underneath the soil. That we are not able to see. But the root cause why the tree is alive, healthy, and has got twigs, branches, leaves, flowers, and fruits is all because of the roots which are there hidden inside, isn't it? Something similar to that, when we take birth, there is a hidden thing which is there, but for sure, hi dhruvam, jatasya hi dhruvam mrityur. Mrityu is there. If somebody asks why someone dies, the scientists will have different answers, the philosophers will have different answers, we may have our own answers, but the fact is we die because we have taken birth. And that is there, but we don't see that. Very interestingly, there is a verse which the Niti Sastra, they say, it says, Kalakshepo na kartavyah kshinam ayuhu kshane kshane yamasya karuna nasti kartavyam harikirtanam. Yamasya karuna nasti. Very simple Sanskrit, isn't it? Yamaraj doesn't have mercy. Yamasya karuna nasti. Is there anybody here who is a good negotiator and he thinks, let's have a talk, Yamaraj? Maybe you are Yamaraj. I'm also a good negotiator here in the material world. We can talk the terms and conditions. My little bit give and take. We can do something so that you take me as per my wish. Yamasya karuna nasti. Actually, death can come at any moment. Maybe you are walking, you are cycling, you are doing something. You have just taken birth. Like a baby just taken birth is dead. Yamasya karuna nasti. Right? That's why this verse is telling Jatasya hi dhruvam mrityur. If you have taken birth, you are certain to die. And if you are dying, you are certain to take birth. Dhruvam mrityu, dhruvam janma mritasya cha. So if you are dead, that means for sure you are going to take birth. Tasmad apariharyarte natvam sochitum arhasi. If somebody is studying carefully Bhagavad Gita, this is 27th verse. If you go to the previous verse, Krishna is telling Nainam sochitum arhasi. If you go to the previous verse, 25th verse, Nanu sochitum arhasi. The three lines are similar. Nanu sochitum arhasi. Nainam sochitum arhasi. And Natvam sochitum arhasi. Don't lament. Don't lament. But what do? We lament. We have so much of grief. Feel that separation is so difficult, isn't it? And when somebody is lamenting, when somebody is going through that pain, difficult to give him transcendental knowledge. When can you give somebody who's this transcendental knowledge? When he's in the right mood, when things are going as per his plan, or when he's in control of things. But unfortunately, at that time, we are busy in something else. Somewhere else is our attraction, somewhere else is our attention. We don't realize this imminent death is there. There is a death notice which is hanging on our head. You just can't say that, no, I don't know, I'm not aware. Only animals do like that. You can't teach an animal, hey, you're going to grow old, one day you're going to die. That he'll not understand. We can't explain this to animals. But human beings, we can. And not just this, nobody can say, I was not knowing. Suddenly one death has come. I was not prepared for it. No, the whole life is meant for preparation. And there are wonderful verses like this which comes in the Vedic scriptures to awaken us. Awaken us from our deep slumber. Wow, what a wonderful human material life I've got. I've got a permanent residence in US, in California. Hot summer, nice weather. No, sir. Whatever it is, Mrityu is waiting for all of us. Yamasya karuna nasti, kartavyam harikirtanam. So what do you do then? How should we prepare? And what is it? Is there any magic that we can do? Or is there something that we can do that we can cross over this? Otherwise this cycle, jatasya dhruvam mrityur, dhruvam janma mritasya cha. If you have taken birth, you are supposed to die. And if you are dead, you will again take birth. Tasmad apariharyarthe natvam sochi. Can we have questions a little later after we finish? Yeah. Natvam sochitum arhasi. So what is the solution? It's a very nice, beautiful solution which Prabhupada gives, and it is so hope-giving, and it is so enlightening. And if somebody pays attention and takes it properly, nicely, he will make tremendous progress in spiritual life. So what Prabhupada is saying, there is a verse in the 3rd canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, which says, Nachasya kaschid daito na dveshya na cha bandhava avishati apramato sau pramattam janma antakrit. The meaning of this verse is very nice. It says, no one is dear to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, nor is anyone his enemy or friend. But he gives inspiration to those who have not forgotten him and destroys those who have. So there is no one here sitting here who is dear to the Lord, and there is no one who's an enemy or friend. So everybody is equal. But he gives inspiration to those who have not forgotten him and destroys those who have. And in the purport, Prabhupada says, forgetfulness of one's relationship with Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the cause of one's repeated birth and death. What is the cause of our repeated birth and death? Forgetfulness of our relationship with the Supreme Lord. Okay. A living entity is as eternal as the Supreme Lord, but due to his forgetfulness, he is put into this material nature and transmigrates from one body to another, and when the body is destroyed, he thinks that he is also destroyed. Actually, this forgetfulness of his relationship with Lord Vishnu is the cause of his destruction. And anyone who revives his consciousness of the original relationship receives the inspiration from the Lord. The inspiration from the Lord comes when we revive. So this is the point. You want to transcend this process of birth and death. The only way is to revive the relationship with the Lord, and the inspiration from the Lord comes from within. And at the time of death, if you really want to transcend this birth and death, the consciousness that you are having and the activities that you have performed will ensure whether you'll take birth again or you'll go back to him or not. Okay. Very interestingly, somebody, when we say this to people who are not exposed to this transcendental knowledge of Krishna consciousness, they say, oh, what about you? As if you're not going to die? And it is only we who are going to die? What about all of you? And this question comes. No, we are also going to die. But if you are dying in ignorance, you'll be scared and fearful of your death. But if you are enlightened, death is not fearful. You're not fearful of death. Prabhupada gives a very beautiful example to illustrate this. He says, a cat who's carrying a rat and the cat who's carrying a kitten. The rat who's there in the jaws of the cat is fearful. The moment the jaw is closed, finished. Whereas the kitten who's being carried by the cat, that kitten is feeling absolutely safe. Something similar to that happens to devotees who have taken up to this path of Krishna consciousness. Let death come at any time. We're not worried. And that is possible for each one of us. For each one of us, we can experience that fearlessness. How does that happen? They're all beautiful revelations of Bhagavad Gita. Unfortunately, this transcendental knowledge is available to us, but people do not know how to take advantage of this. What should they do? And they live life carelessly. I'm sure you'll be knowing this. Some devotees would have shared, but if you don't know, in Mahabharata, there is an interesting portion where this Yaksha asked some intelligent questions to Pandavas, including Yudhishthir. Yudhishthir is the only one who answered those questions perfectly. One of the questions that he had asked was, which is the most wonderful thing in this world? Anybody who doesn't know, if you know the answer, don't say. If you don't know and you want to try or you want to guess, what is the most wonderful thing in this world? Life, okay. You know the answer. So I told if you know the answer. So the answer which Yudhishthir gave, very interesting. He says, ahani bhutani gachanti hi yamalayam. Sesas thavaram icchanti kimascharya mathoparam. Ahani is a very small fraction of measure of time. Small unit of measure of time. Very, very small. Ahani is like you're blinking your eyes. It's even lesser than that. In that small unit of measure of time, ahani bhutani gachanti, there are so many people who are dying. If you don't believe, you just search in Google how many people are dying in California in 1 second, in this moment. So number is an astronomical number, very big. Ahani ahani bhutani gachanti hi yamalayam. They're going to Yamalayam. Sesa sthavaram icchanti. All of us who are staying here, we are thinking this is not going to happen to me. Kimmascharya athoparam. What is more wonderful than this? Here, people around us, our family members, fathers, forefathers, and father's father, they are all gone. But we don't think that this is going to happen to us. The most wonderful thing. Why this happens and how you can cross over. Like I said, a devotee who is practicing, he develops some kind of thing that enables him to transcend this death. What is it that one has to do? Very nicely, Krishna mentions in the 14th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Gunan etan atityatrin dehi deha samudbhavan janma mrityu jara dukkher vimuktam amrutam ashnute. Beautiful verse. This is the clue what you need to do when you have got this human form of life. Gunan etan atityatrin dehi deha samudbhavan. Deha trin gunan samudbhavan. This deha, there is a distinction between dehi and deha. This is one of the very fundamental thing which Krishna speaks in Bhagavad Gita when he begins to speak. Second chapter, 13th verse, those of you who are familiar. Dehinosmin yatha dehe komaram yauvanam jara tatha dehantara praptir dhiras tatranam muyati. You see, there are so many kids. There are so many kids who are young. They have got some small body, little bigger. And then all of you, your adult's body. Some are old people, elderly people, they are sitting. All these things we are seeing in our eyes. But we don't pay attention to them. So Krishna brings a distinction between Dehi and Deha. Deha is body, Dehi is the possessor of the body. Like you have Jnani, who is a possessor of knowledge, or Jnani, he's a knowledgeable man, and Jnana is knowledge. Wealthy, he's a rich aristocratic man, and wealth is, what is wealth? Dhana. Dhana and Dhani, right? Jnana and Jnani. So Deha and Dehi. So there is a distinction. This Dehi, the owner of the body, in this very life itself, changes so many bodies. From childhood to boyhood to young man to an old man. Similarly, like it is changing so many bodies in this life, tatha dehantara praptir. Similarly, at the time of death, when this body becomes useless, the owner of the body takes another body. Dhiras tatra na muhyati. Person who is sober, who is self-realized, he is not bewildered by this. He will not lament. He sees this because this transformation is happening every day, every moment. But the change is very subtle. We don't realize. You meet your friend after 10 years, he says, "Hey, ab to badal gaye ho. You look so different now." After every 7 years, the entire cells in our body completely changes. So the distinction between Dehi and Deha is very important. So he is telling here, Gunanetan aditya trin Dehi Deha samudbhavan. Deha trin samudbhavan. This Deha, this body, which is made up of these three modes of material nature, trigunas, is subjected to Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi. It is subjected to, not the Dehi, only the Deha. It is subjected to Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi. Gunanetan aditya trin. But you can overcome these modes of material nature. Janma Mrityu Jara Dukkher Vimuktam Amrutam Ashnute. By engaging in devotional service. Somebody engages in devotional service, he overcomes, he transcends these three modes of material nature. The effect of these three modes of material nature is on the Deha, which is making it subjected to Janma Mrityu Jara Dukkher. Vimuktam Amrutam Ashnute. But you can become free. Immediately, Arjuna's question was, he asked three questions. When he hear, oh, we are under the modes of three, we are subjected to three modes of material nature. So what is the symptom of a man who has crossed these three modes of material nature? You can transcend also these three modes of material nature. So what is the symptom of a person who has transcended these three modes of material nature? What is his conduct? Second question. And how do we transcend these modes of material nature? Isn't it very relevant? So what is the symptom of a man who has transcended these three modes of material nature? What is his conduct? And the third thing is how to overcome, how to transcend these modes of material nature. And very interestingly, Krishna explains this. One of the verses that he says here, Sama dukkha sukha swasthaha, sama loshta sma. Hare Krishna. Sama dukkha sukha swasthaha. who's equanimously situated in dukkha and sukha, neither too morose nor too excited. Sama dukkha sukha swastha. Sama loshta asma kanchana. Loshta is earth, asma is like ash, and kanchana is gold, who is seeing with equal vision the earth, ash, and gold. Sama loshta asma kanchana. Tulya priya priyo dhiras. Again, the word dhiras is used here. The word dhiras that we saw in second chapter 13 verse. Dhiras tatra na muhyati. Tulya priya priyo dhiras. Priya, somebody is appreciating us. So nice. So regular, Prabhu. What attitude you have. You want that person to continue. More, bol. Loudly bol. Like logon ko bhi pata chale hua hai. And somebody who's insulting you, who's telling that, hey, this fellow is good for nothing. You don't want to be there next to him. Krishna's this thing is tulya priya priyo dhiras, who's sober, who's pacified. He does not get agitated by this appreciation or by by some insulting words. Tulya priya priyo dhiras. Tulya nindatma samtushtahi. Tulya nindatma atma samstutihi. Somebody is again offending. Again, he's talking about that same thing. Ninda and atma samstutihi. Somebody is glorifying and somebody is offending, but a person is not bewildered. That is the symptom of a man who has transcended these three modes of material nature. Actually, Prabhupada's purport, he says, Arjuna submitted the three different questions and the Lord answers them one after another. In this verse, Krishna first indicates that a person transcendentally situated, neither and so he gives the characteristic of this. So the first two questions are answered by Krishna in this verse. So he's answering the first two questions put together in this verse, and in the next verse he's going to answer the third question, which is how to transcend these three modes of material nature. I'm reminded of a story which Stoka Maharaj, you all met when Maharaj, some of you would have met when he was here. So Maharaj says one story of one person, a rich man who was about to die in his village. And he was a very rich man, but he was a miserly man, very stingy person. So he was about to die, and then all his relatives at that time they have assembled. The person is going to die. One another thing is, see, we ourselves realize that we are going to die when the final moment of that reckoning comes, and the relatives around us also get to know this person is not going to last for long. So there was this rich man who was about to die, and he was lying on the deathbed. All of them have assembled all over, and they were there waiting for this man to die. They just wanted to know where he has kept his secret money, where he has kept his money wealth, and he was not able to speak. So Bhagavatam gives so graphic description about death, what happens, when somebody is about to die. It is mentioned that in that diseased condition, one's eyes bulge due to the pressure of air from within. Because now there is an imbalance, there is kapha, bata and pitta. So bata is this vayu, this air wants to come out. It doesn't know where to come out. So it forces to come out through the eyes, and the eyes bulge out. So in that diseased condition, one's eyes bulge due to the pressure of air from within, and his glands become congested with mucus. So the glands, you want to speak, but sometimes it happens like you have got so much of mucus, the sputum that comes out. So if it is choked, your throat, you will not be able to speak. He has difficulty breathing, and upon exhaling and inhaling, he produces a sound like ghura ghura, a rattling within the throat. You want to speak, but the words also will not come out. This is actually reality. So somebody says, no, I don't believe Swamiji, aap log kya bolte ho? No, this is scripture. So you have to take shelter of Guru, Sadhu, Shastra to understand what life is, and this imminent death which we have to go through, what exactly happens. So this old man who was about to die, Stoka Maharaj says, and his relatives were surrounding him, and they wanted to know where he has hidden his wealth, and this fellow wanted to speak, ghurr, ghurr, that sound was coming. So there was one doctor who said, okay, if you all want, I can give a booster dose and I can bring back some life, consciousness to this body so that he'll be able to speak. Do you want that? They were very detached at that time to that man. Anyway, he's going to die. But they were attached to the wealth. They said, yeah, whatever you want to do, you do it. and they gave some booster dose or something, and this person was brought back to his consciousness, and the moment he opened his mouth, they were all, imagine, with great anticipation, expectation, they were waiting. Bolega abhi kahan chupa ke rakha hai? What that person told? Our neighbor has taken sugar from some 3 days back, he has not returned. And you people are sitting here comfortably, and he passed his body. So, Bhagavad Gita, if you are familiar, it says, Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajate ante kalevaram tam tam eveti konteya sadatad bhava bhavita. Whatever state you remember at the time of death, that you will get without fail. That state you will get again in the next life. Somebody is thinking too much about my house, my property, my this, or whatever, takes birth again as an insect or as a cockroach or something in that house, but continues to live. The Deha is only subject to destruction. Dehi is permanent. There is no this thing. It continues its journey again. And then, in this way, he becomes under the clutches of death and lies down, surrounded by lamenting friends and relatives. And although he wants to speak with them, he no longer can because he is under the control of time. Kala pasa vasamgataha. He's under the control of time. He's not able to speak. He wants to be there with the relatives. I remember visiting one devotee of ours from Bangalore in the hospital, and he was relatively young. He was not very old, along with his senior devotee and that man who was lying on the deathbed. It was terminal cancer. It was known that he's going to die. So his family members, like his wife and children, were there. Me and one more devotee, we had gone there. We did some kirtan. We spoke to him for some time. Then we left. And then the senior devotee who was accompanying me, he told to his wife, "Will you be here around? Will you be there?" So I told, No, Prabhu. I have to go and prepare my children for the school tomorrow. So I have to leave. So she also left. Children also left. The relatives also left. We also left. So imagine the fate of that person who is lying there, looking at the ceiling and waiting for that imminent death to come. Right? In this way, he comes to the clutches of death and lies down, surrounded by lamenting friends and relatives. Even the friends and relatives want that this person to live, but they can't do. They're lamenting, and seeing their lamentation in their eyes, the tears, this person knows his time has come. And although he wants to speak with them, he no longer can because he's under the control of time. Kala pasa vasamgataha. Time comes to an end. That's why this is called Yamasya Karuna Nasti. There is no mercy. This cruel death comes. So then what should we do? That is what is this whole chapter, this 14th chapter of Bhagavad Gita is telling us, that you take up to this process of devotion very sincerely. The answer to the third question, how to overcome this modes of material nature, Krishna says, Mam cha yo abhyavicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samati teitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. Our reason for repeated birth and death is our forgetfulness of our relationship with the Lord. And the process of engaging in devotional service, is a chance of revival of our relationship with the Lord, and the Lord in the heart gives us the inspiration at the time of death to not again enter into the cycle of birth and death. So the verse is Mam choyo abhyavicharena. Abhyavicharena. Don't get caught up in so many other trivials and the details of this material world. Engage in devotional service, abhyavicharena, without being unchaste, in one pointed attention, without interruption. Mam chayo abhyavicharena bhakti yogena sevate sa gunan samati taitan. He overcomes the influence of this modes of material nature. Brahma bhuyaya kalpate. And he comes back to the transcendental platform. So this rare human form of life which we have been blessed with, we are meant to engage in devotional service. Because nobody knows when death will come. But for sure it will come. And unless we prepare for it, it's a recipe for disaster. We will again enter into the cycle of birth and death. That's why the word that is used in Bhagavatam is called Tivrena Bhakti Yogena. Tivrena. Akama sarva kamava moksha kama udaradhi. Tivrena bhakti yogena yajate purusham param. You can't say, no, I am still young. Maybe some old people, maybe it is for them to take to this path of devotion or take to this path of spiritual. Abhi hamara to jawan hai, humko enjoy karna hai. No. Right now, and with great intensity. You can't postpone this. You can't say that this I will do tomorrow, after next month. No. Imagine if you are there in a hotel. With this, we will close and we'll have one round of chanting, which is the best means of engaging in devotional service. Imagine you are in a hotel, okay, and you're relaxing. You've gone for a vacation. Family members, relatives, everybody is there, having a good time, and all of a sudden you hear a alarm. Right? The fire alarm goes off. It's very loud, actually. Fire alarm when it goes off. So, but you have all your plans of enjoying, and you want to go for some beach or something, and you are getting ready with swimsuits and all. And then all of a sudden, this fire alarm has gone up, and you don't know what to do. So you're thinking, which one to carry? What should I? I mean, should I? So it's a huge, loud this thing, and you are hearing that people are coming out of their doors. They're running here and there. Everybody is, just rushing out, and so you're thinking, which one to carry? Should I take my laptop? Should I take my this thing? Or should I carry my wallet? What should I do? Should I change? Now I'm in the swim costume. Should I change to my pant shirt? What? But is there time for that or not? But suddenly, because everybody, hey, rush, and there's a loud noise and the alarm is going off. So you came out of your door and you're running and you go to the lift and you say that it is saying the lift is not working. Because they say that in case of emergency, you have to take the stairs. But imagine if any one of you at that point in time looks at that notice board and finds that there is a grammatical mistake. Fire, they have written wrongly. F-I-R-E, but they have written some F-E-R-E or something. And you are finding, or the artwork which is there, like, the font, the letter is in white and it's in a red background. You are thinking, nah, black and white, it should have been better. It will be more appealing. Or the design which has been done. Arey, nahi, you have to rush. This is not the time to think whether the artwork is nice or the font is good or not. Rush out of it. Get out of that. Something similar to that is needed in our life when this human form of life has been bestowed with, has been blessed with. All of us, when we have got this human form of life, it's not meant to analyze all these material things, some research in some material subjects, this thing, that thing. The most important thing is to see that death is imminent. Jatasya hi dhruva mrityur. In the 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha dosanu darshanam. Even though we all have got this human form of life, I began with the story of Yudhishthir Maharaj saying the most wonderful thing in this world. Even if we all have got this human form of life, the sign of advancement of intelligence is to be able to see the evils of this birth, death, old age and disease. Not everybody sees that. They can't see it. And then death comes and then we lament and we grieve and then it is gone, over. So between living this, when we get this chance to live here in the material world, that is called birth, and when we leave this material world, between this living and leaving, whatever time we have, that if we utilize properly, if we elevate our consciousness to a state which is in Brahman, then with the help of that purity, with the help of that knowledge, with the help of that self-realization, we can transcend these modes of three modes of material nature. And we can go back to home, back to Godhead. I'll stop here if you have any questions or comments. You had some questions. Yes, Mataji. I didn't answer. What do you all think? Did I answer or not? What is the Yaksha's question? Which is the most wonderful thing? Did I answer or not? I answered, right. So probably you didn't pay attention, Mataji. The answer was ahani bhutani gachanti hi yamalayam sesa sthavaram icchanti kimascharya mathoparam. Answer is, when Yaksha asked which is the most wonderful thing, Yudhishthir Maharaj responded that in every second, every smallest unit of measure of time, people are dying. Gachanti hi yamalayam sesa sthavaram, people who are remaining, all of us, we are thinking death is not going to come to us. This is the most wonderful thing. Any other questions? You had a question? You read Bhagavad Gita, you'll have no confusion. The leaves are just limbs of the tree. They are part of the tree. But if the roots, if the tree is dead, there is no question of leaves coming out again. Right? The seasonal change of the leaves, falling and then again coming, it's part of the growth of the tree. It's a part of the tree's existence. For us, like our bodies are like when we have taken when we have taken birth as an infant, as a small child, very tender body, very very soft. But that as you grow, it becomes big, strong. Doesn't mean that that leaves the limbs have died and something has come. It is true in one way, because death is there in every moment. We are dying in every second, every moment. We are not perceiving that. Ultimately, when this body becomes useless, we leave the body and go. So the death is only for the body, which is material, matter. This table, this doesn't have any consciousness. It doesn't have any feeling. It doesn't have any cognizance of what is pain, what are emotions. It doesn't have. We have, because the soul is inside the body. As soon as the soul leaves the body, this body and the table, there is no difference. The same matter. You cut it, you do anything, there is no pain. So as long as the soul is there inside the body, we are called alive. So Prabhupada says, what is the difference between a living man and a dead body? Just one moment before, when the person was alive, he was hearing, he was listening, he was doing everything, he was seeing. The very next moment when he's dead, he's collapsed. Yeah, soul has an identification. The presence of the soul in the body can be known through the symptoms, that the consciousness which is all pervading. So any living entity has that consciousness. He's cognizant. You're sitting there, you're probably closing your eyes or something. I come with a sharp object and I prick you. You don't know that I'm coming and I'm pricking you. But that is the presence of the soul in the body. But when you are dead, again your eyes are closed, you're lying there. But I do anything, you don't feel anything. So that's why this is called Vimudha Nanu Pashyanti Pashyanti Jnana Chakshusha. Some of us, we don't see this. Utkramantam Sthitam Vapi Bhunjanamba Gunanvitam Vimudha Nanu Pashyanti Pashyanti Jnana Chakshusha. You need to develop a Jnana Chakshu to see this. Otherwise, hai soul, kahan hai, kidhar hai, kaun sa part mein? We go on analyzing. Utkramantam. Sometimes the soul is situated in the body, sometimes it leaves. And sometimes it suffers the activities because of the activities that we are doing based on the three modes of material nature. Vimudha nanu pashyanti. When we have not developed that transcendental intelligence, when we have not developed that transcendental knowledge, it's difficult to perceive. But pashyanti jnana chakshusha. You develop the jnana chakshu, you'll be able to perceive this. Anybody who is coming here for the first time? Okay, can you raise your hand? Keep raising your hands. Okay. Can we have a loud Haribol for all of them? I thought I said loud. Very nice. You'll get a gift from that counter. All of you who are coming here for the first time, you can meet our devotee over there, Vrishnivamsa Prabhu. He'll give you something. And now we are going to chant this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, which is the most powerful and the best means of engaging in devotional service. Those of you who do not know how to chant, how many of you do not know how to chant? And this beats, okay. It's very simple. So this mala, you have to hold it with your middle finger and thumb. Okay, we don't use this index finger. This is considered inauspicious, right? Kya galti hai? Ye this ungli dikhate, not that this, right? So we don't use this finger. We use our middle finger and thumb. Then we chant the full mantra, Hare Krishna. You have to start from the other. So there is a bead which has got this thread which is coming out of it. That's the head bead. That is not included in 108 beads. Excluding that, there are 108 beads. Okay. So we will chant the full mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. This is the mantra. And we pull it inwards. Then again we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Like that we chant 108 times. It takes 10 minutes. Keep your worries, tensions away. Your car is parked or not. What will happen to your house? Everything is safe. Nothing will happen. Just chant and focus on the sound. We don't chant this silently. We chant loud enough so that we can hear our own words. Before we do that, we chant one time a mantra which you can repeat after me on the head bead. And then we go to the first bead and chant the full mantra. So this mantra on the head bead is Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Then we will chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So that's not displayed. So you all can chant along with me. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare